do we have a quorum?
Yes, Madam Chair, we do.
Okay, fantastic. Good to see everybody. Thanks to everybody who came in person and thanks to everybody who is on Zoom with us today. We will call our special called meeting to order. Miss Bono Reed, will you take the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Brennan.
Present.
Mr. Burgess.
Present.
Ms. Gleason.
Present.
Ms. Herbert. Representative Howard. Mr. Lawson.
Here.
Ms. Mood. Dr. Morris.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Ms. Tracio.
Here.
Councilman Walker.
Here.
And advisory members, Mr. Kane. Mr. Green.
Present.
Mr. Jenkins. Mr. Kuhn. Ms. Robinson. Ms. Summers. Mr. Unthank. And Mayor Walker. And I see Ms. Herbert has come in.
Yes, here.
Thank you.
The next item on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion regarding the agenda? Moved and properly seconded to accept it. Any updates from staff, anything that needs to be adjusted? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we'll call the roll for the adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Brennan.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Yes.
Ms. Gleason.
Yes.
Ms. Herbert.
Yes.
Ms. Howard. Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Ms. Mood.
Yes.
Dr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Tracio.
Yes.
Councilman Walker.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. That brings us to item 3, which is a discussion and action item. 3A is the establishment of our executive director search committee. So thanks to everybody. I've almost got to talk to almost everybody pretty in depth before this meeting. And I believe that what we can do in terms of a search committee is form a committee with one person from each jurisdiction or geographical area kind of. So one person from the delegation, one person from the city, one person from the county, one from Forest Acres and one from Lexington. And so I guess I'll just pause there and open the floor up. Does anybody have any?
Franny Heiser.
Hi, Franny, how are you?
Join the meeting.
Any discussion or any questions regarding the search committee? Yes, Mr. Brennan.
Madam Chairwoman, would that be under a subcommittee under service, or is that just under, that is a special
It
ad
is
hoc
its own
committee?
It
Okay.
will be an ad hoc committee that can meet as it chooses. And hopefully it will do its work swiftly and effectively. So, yes.
And my question is, will we have the support of a search firm to both keep track of all of
Hayward.
it and to help us?
Join the meeting.
I believe that is something that has happened in the past, and it is definitely a thing that, definitely a practice at this high level of administration in governmental entities. So we will supply the committee with some names to get started, and then the committee can sort of take it from there.
And do we know whether that requires, what does that require in terms of procurement policies?
Oh, sure. Yeah, good question. So,
Mike Green's hand is raised.
okay. Ms. Heiser, can you hear us?
She should.
We have a procurement question regarding the search firm.
Well,
Yeah.
I think in general, it would require going through procurement process. I wanted to get Franny's input with regard to how the process occurred, I guess, when the board hired Ando, because I think there were several candidates that y'all interviewed, and I don't know, I wasn't working with the board back then. But I'm not sure whether the committee sent out information requests for candidates to apply, or whether that went through a search firm process.
Sure. Dr. Morris?
Madam Chair, when we hired Mr. Andor, we sent out information. We went to Human Resources. Mr. Deschamps sent out information, and then we got candidates to apply. And then at that point, we reviewed their applications, and then we met with them and interviewed them. We made a recommendation back to the board in terms of the candidate that we thought was the best, and that's how we did with Mr. Andor. I served as chairperson of that committee at that time. I want to serve as chairperson this time.
The rodeo.
Thank you. Yeah, so you all did not in fact use a search firm. Okay.
My recollection is we did have a consultant who worked
We
with us
did.
through that process. So, and that helped us both identify what were the criteria that we were looking for in candidates, that we could get input from the whole board in terms of giving some priority to that and some way to rank. And then he kept track of all of the steps that we took so that we had a good record of that, and it wasn't up to the search committee members or the staff to create the record.
And I think you can hire a consultant with it without it having to go through.
Through a firm, and that would eliminate the procurement concern.
Yes, you can.
And I'm sorry, I didn't see Mr. Green's hand up before. Mr. Green?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairman. Who will be chairing the committee?
Good question. So I think that will bring us to, so the folks that I have on my list for the committee, if they will accept the positions, are Mr. Fergus from the delegation, Ms. Mood from Lexington, Mr. Smith from Forest Acres, Ms. Herbert from City of Columbia, and Mr. Overture Walker from Richland County. And I would like to ask Mr. Walker if he would consider being chair. Mr. Walker? are you-
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. So with those folks named as the committee, then yes.
Madam Chairman, one more question.
Sure, Mr. Green.
I'm sorry, did you appoint someone from Lexington County? I thought you said you were appointing
Yes.
someone from Lexington County
Ms.
as well.
Mood. Yes, Ms.
Okay,
Mood, I would like
Thank
to
you. I just didn't hear. Appreciate it.
And then we'll have the board bless that.
Do we need,
Okay.
I thought, well, okay.
Okay, so, and can I make that motion since I'm the one who's making, okay, so that's the motion for the formation of the committee.
I think the action item,
It is
The action item, okay.
I
So
think
you
just
said,
has the authority to appoint it. I think the chair has the
Yeah.
authority to just appoint it.
right.
okay, so I'm just appointing that committee. Thank everybody for being willing to serve on it. We will continue to talk. And of course, as with any committee, any board member is invited to join the committee and ask questions and give input and feedback. It's just that those committee members will be voting, and then of course, bringing people to the full board to vet and bless. So that's the idea there. Okay, I don't think we need anything further on that item. That will bring us to item 4.
Let me ask one more question.
Sure.
So who will, how will we go about identifying the consultant to help us?
I think that our attorneys have kind of a list to get started. That doesn't have to be the entirety of the list. And I see Ms. Heiser is on the line now. Franny, did you have anything that you wanted to add about the process?
No, I've been listening to y'all and I think you're on the right track.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so that will bring us to item 4, which is our executive session, just in time. Representative Howard, welcome. Is there a motion to go into executive session for discussion of employment, appointment, compensation, promotion, demotion, discipline, or release of an employee, student, or a person regulated by a public body, or the appointment of a person to a public body? I won't necessarily read the rest of that, but that is what. Yes,
Second.
so moved and properly seconded. And we will take the vote to go into executive session.
Can we take a vote to go into executive session?
Good. What do we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Brennan,
Yes.
Mr. Burgess,
Yes.
Ms. Wheaton,
Yes.
Ms. Herbert,
Yes.
Representative Howard,
Yes.
Mr. Lawson,
Yes.
Ms. Mood,
Yes.
Dr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Gracia,
Yes.
Councilman Walker. Councilman Walker? I think he's on mute.
Okay,
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Couple of minutes.
Thank you all. And then just let us know when we are good to go.
Who all do you want in the executive session? Do you want the lawyers?
I think we probably should have our attorneys in the executive session.
How about Mayor Coble?
No,
No.
I
Okay.
don't think he would be required.
Okay, gotcha. So just board members, lawyers, and me. That's
Sure.
it? Okay.
Yes.
Including advisory board. And including advisory board members.
Oh.
Let me.
Works. Okay. Yep, there it is. Can you all hear me? Yeah,
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
okay. I'm gonna speak softly because of the reverb.
Hey Pam, we're not in the room though.
You shouldn't be in the room. You should be in the open.
Yeah, I just see you.
I don't think so. Let me look. Let me look to see.
This is Andy. I'm here too.
Okay,
Oh, is it picking you up from the computer and also the room?
it is, and it's,
Yeah, we're not in the open session.
this should be. You all should be out of the breakout room.
That's correct. We are. We're out of the breakout room, but we're not in open session. I don't see the full board. I'm looking directly at a picture of you or a video of you.
Well, I don't know why that is, because I see all of y'all. Yeah, I can, and we can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, that's fine. I guess we can proceed. It
okay,
just looks
I see the,
different on
I
my
see the
end.
rest of the board. I see the rest of the board as well.
okay. You see,
And we're getting a bunch of feedback.
I know.
The other camera needs to be. is what's missing.
What other camera?
The large, maybe is it the one the conference room needs to?
No, it's in, it's in a right. Sorry. Okay, so there was a motion to come out at 1:29. I have votes from Mr. Brennan, Mr. Burgess, Ms. Gleason, Ms. Herbert.
And this is a vote just to come out of executive session?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Mr. Lawson,
Yes.
Ms. Mood, Dr. Morris, Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Tracia, Councilman Walker.
Yes.
Pamela, I'm sorry, we're not able to hear the rest of the board. All we can hear is you and the people on Zoom.
Okay. Do you know about this? I'm not gonna have it. Yeah, we'll do this.
Key person, yes. And then mute yours down there probably.
Hey Pam, I think we're good now.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So many hats I wear, I'll tell you what.
Bill, I think you are maybe officially the youngest person in the room,
yeah,
so, thank
I'm
you.
deaf, I'm cool.
So we were in executive session. We did not take any action. We had voted to come out of executive session, and before we entertain any motions out of executive session, I would be remiss to just not acknowledge, or to having not acknowledged earlier that the reason that we are meeting today is a direct result of having lost Mr. Director Derek Huggins just a couple of short weeks ago, very unexpectedly. And so we just want to acknowledge that loss and what he has meant for the Comet in all of his years of service. So just having acknowledged that, I will entertain a motion coming out of executive session. Or that we have come out of executive session. Is there a motion?
So moved.
But so we've moved, Mr. Walker, we've already moved and voted to come out of executive session. We are now looking for what's happening next.
Madam Chair.
Or Representative Howard.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I make a motion that we invite the chief operating officer in executive session for this personnel discussion.
A second.
It's moved and properly seconded. I don't know that there's any further discussion needed on that. So we will just take a vote as to whether to today invite Mr. Deschamps into, in this meeting. So, okay. Oh,
Mr. Brennan?
What the question, is that back into executive session?
Yes, you'd have to go back into it.
No.
okay.
Mr. Burgess?
I'm kind of conflicted. I don't know which way to go on that, but
I
I'll
can say that.
follow the leader. I'll say yes.
Ms. Gleason?
Yeah.
Let's get it over.
Ms. Herbert?
No.
Representative Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Ms. Mood?
No.
Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
No.
Ms. Teresa?
No.
Councilman Walker?
No.
The noes carry.
So we will not take that item up today. We will meet the executive committee and move forward from there. So, and I think that brings us to item 5, adjournment. It's moved, and we can just do that by acclamation. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks,
Aye.
everybody, for your work and your service today. We'll be in touch soon.